Radiohead put their album up for free. They're not greedy.
I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, I got it for free.
Wasn't it name your own price?
Yeah, so
And
I
you
got it
just
for
said
free.
0. What a fucking dickhead.
Whatever. Like, I'm the only one. I guarantee.
Do you think there's any hardcore Radiohead fans paying $50?
I think at least half of our listeners are probably Radiohead fans.
I don't think I know any Radiohead songs.
Yeah, sure you do. There's that one from Vanilla Sky.
Which one?
I don't know. I just watched that 2 nights ago. Radiohead's all over that movie.
Is it the
and
one?
it's a very blatant
She's
plug.
giving me good vibrations.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm picking
Radiohead,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
But that scene, it's in the very opening of the movie. He has the dream, and then, he gets to Times Square, and it's all desolated.
And she says, Abre los ojos.
Yes. And then he picks up Jason Lee in the car, and then it's such a blatant plug. Cameron Crowe is so proud of his music in all of his movies.
Yeah.
It really became clear in, I was going to say Almost Famous, but I guess even Singles before that.
Yeah, Say Anything had the famous jukebox scene, too.
Yeah.
Jukebox.
Well, there is a jukebox scene.
Boombox.
Yeah.
Holding it over his head. All my instincts. Who's that? Peter Gabriel?
Yeah.
See, I know shit.
Is that on your iTunes? That'll be your second purchase?
No, I'm gonna get it. Let's start with, what was your plans for Christmas? You go, I always think that Margaret's family is Jewish when you go to visit her, and I don't know why I think that. They're not, are they?
No.
They're celebrating Christmas. You visited another person in Denver, Colorado once, remember?
Yeah.
One
probably
of your online flames named Rachel.
She wasn't an online flame.
Yeah, you were into her. And she was online. That's like
until I
extra
met
sexy.
her. Yeah.
They were super Jewish, right?
They were super Jewish, and I kind of like that about her. I don't know that many Jewish girls in real life, but the ones I do know are generally pretty hot. Like, I'll hear they're a Jew later, and I'm like, oh, that's why.
Really?
Jews and Asians, man. I want
can't
both
tell?
of them. Huh?
You can't tell right away?
No.
Oh.
I was going to make some joke about them stealing my wallet, then it just didn't come together.
You don't notice that they keep asking you to buy them drinks.
Oh, that's better. That's better. I'll leave the Jew jokes to you tonight.
You don't notice that they've got you beaten in nose, which is hard.
Yeah. I've only how many Christmases have you celebrated now?
I think this was number 3.
Yeah, number 3 for me as well. My first Christmas I spent in Tacoma. I was living there at the time with 2 other roommates. Kelly was on the show. We had a place together, and she makes a big deal out of Christmas, like big fucking decked out tree,
that's
the
awesome.
Stockings. Andy dresses up as Santa Claus, her boyfriend. He actually did this year. And then he threw up on his beard. So last year, my good friend Margaret invited me to go to her parents' place in Colorado. They live in Denver, but there's like this little resort town kind of area called Beaver Creek.
Aspen.
Yeah, Aspen. And then so it's great. Like, you go there and they're totally welcoming, and they have like 6 presents for me under the tree. And last year when I went, they barely even knew me. It was the first time I'd met her dad. And now a year later, I'm like, hey, I'm back. Where's the gifts? And I'll get to that. But yeah, so 2 years running now, I've spent like 4 or 5 days over there, and I just came back. Trip itself was fine once I eventually got there.
Yeah, how'd that go? I was reading lots of... wasn't it on the day that you were supposed to take off? I read about some terrible plane fire in Denver at the Denver airport.
I didn't hear about that until after I'd flown in. I don't know exactly what happened. Her dad was trying to explain it to me. But everybody survived, so it wasn't that interesting of a story.
Yeah, but
That's
it
when I
burst
checked
into
out.
flames. And wasn't that the day you were supposed to be there?
I think it happened earlier that day.
I thought you were there for like 2 days, and then you texted me, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to Colorado.
Yeah, well, what happens for those that aren't local, Seattle had all kinds of fucking snow, like within the last week or two, and that's unusual. Like last year, I think we had some.
Everybody flipped the fuck out.
Oh man, everybody forgot how to drive and made a lot of lame jokes at work. It was terrible, but I don't drive, so it wasn't that big a deal for me. But like I would, last week I was in my office, and every time I went out to smoke throughout the day, every time except for once, and I go out to smoke a lot. somebody was spinning out of control on the road right outside of our work. One of which careened right into the back of a cop car. That was the first one I saw first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to you that day. It's like that here in Yakima too. Like, people are pretty fucking bad.
Yeah,
The worst
you
thing
think
is parking lots. You go to a parking lot every day. You go to the Safeway. It's always the same cars in the parking lot. But when there's snow on the ground, all of a sudden people are parking it in the most ridiculous ways. Like, they just have no idea where the lines would be. They're parking like horizontally in the middle of two vertical cars.
Yeah, you know what it is Seattle saw a lot of snow, and every other time it's just been like snow drizzle the last couple of years, and then it's gone immediately. But this really was pretty severe for the area, and I think when there's that much snow and you're a driver, like, it's a free day for you. Rules don't apply. Like, cops can't really get mad at you for going too slow or spinning out of control. Even the cop that got crashed into in front of my work seemed cool about it. But I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm glad it's gone now. I just flew back in from Colorado today or last night, and it's all gone now. And thank Christ for that. Although getting here wasn't easy.
Yeah.
The pass is still really bad.
How hard was it to get to Colorado?
I was supposed to have left on Monday of last week.
You get your first
Sunday.
class ticket.
Yeah, my first class
You
ticket.
ready to get cut off on the plane again?
That was my that did not happen this year. In fact, let me get to the initial problems we had. Was I was scheduled to leave Sunday, first class, Sunday evening, and then I was going to stay through that Friday. So a nice 5-day stay with the parents, her parents. Do you think they wonder why we're not fucking too?
Maybe.
Like, I've showed up 2 Christmases in a row.
Maybe they just hope for
But
the
when they
best.
introduce me to other distant relatives, they always say, this is Margaret's best friend, Nick.
Do you think they're rooting for you too, or she doesn't want?
I don't think so. I think they think she can do better.
Yeah.
She makes a lot of money, man. I'm like this bum that's just like, thanks for all the gifts.
Yeah, you think
here's my presents.
You know she could do better, right?
CE. Huh?
You know she could do better, right?
Yeah, I know she can do better. I've accepted that long ago.
She's a rich guy.
But yeah, so I was supposed to fly out Sunday, and then the weather was so bad that the airport was actually closed, from what I hear. Fortunately, we didn't go all the way out there.
Airport,
Just
right?
yeah, SeaTac. And so we were watching on the news once we realized we can't get out that night. And there are people that have been stranded. The snow had been going for maybe 2 days straight, and we kept thinking it was going to taper off by the time our flight was going out. And then it just kept coming and coming and coming, and it getting worse and worse.
And in the meantime, are you getting constant emails and text messages from Dad about the snow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, how you holding up, son? Did you make it to work today? God, he loves to talk about the weather.
I swear, if he knew how to work like a cell phone camera, we would get pictures of like his front lawn, car covered in snow.
I didn't make it out today, son. Working from home. How about you? Can't stand it. I can't stand it. Did you get a Merry Christmas text from Dad?
Yeah.
So did I. Did you reply back?
No.
I did.
didn't
You're a bastard of a
I didn't
son.
reply to any that day, including the ones from Mom saying, "Take a pic, please." We're all sitting around in pajamas.
If I take a pic, please, it's because you have an adorable daughter
Yeah.
that she yearns to see. Yearns?
We were in no condition to take pictures.
Were you drunk?
No, we stayed up late the night before opening presents.
Oh, yeah. And we'll get to that,
Yeah.
but let me finish my terrible. So we just ended up like sitting around getting high and getting drunk because I had taken the week off of work anyway, and there's no way.
So you're back at Margaret's apartment?
Yeah, for the most part. We're hanging out, we're playing the Wii and just watching terrible TV. She only has 6 channels. Lots of Hell's Kitchen. God, I love that show. But yeah, so I'm just sticking around, and she's like following up constantly every half hour on the phone with the airport trying to get us another flight out. And for a little while there, it looked like she was going to get to go, but there was no way they were going to muscle me in until the day after Christmas. So what's the fucking point? So that's when I was going to make arrangements to come here, but that wasn't happening either because people were like spending nights at the Greyhound station stranded too. So I wasn't going anywhere.
I saw some of that on the news too. It just looked awful because it's that Seattle station that I already hate being at, and it was full of just like hundreds of hostile, angry people.
Oh man, yeah, I've got some stories about that. So, and at the airport too, like once I eventually did make it to the airport. Oh, so yeah. she keeps following up and keeps following up. Turns out that we can both get out on the same flight on Tuesday. Which is 2 days later than we were supposed to leave, but it was still something. So we get to the airport that morning. We have to wake up at 4, and I was fucking drunk because we didn't know until the last minute that I had gotten a flight for the next morning. So I was just getting hammered and thinking I was going to get to sleep in all day. And then all of a sudden it happens, and I'm way far gone. And then I fall asleep for less than 3 hours and then have to get up. And apparently I made a snoring asshole out of myself in the cab on the way there. But I held it all together and I didn't throw up.
You are a loud snorer. Remember
Am
that,
I really?
that hotel room that we slept in with like 10 people in Seattle, the Camlin, remember?
Yeah, how much did I drink that night, though?
I
I
don't
think it's
know.
mainly the nights that
You
I
were
drink a
snoring
shit
lot.
ton.
Everyone was very upset.
Whatever, I was not the only snorer. And what do you expect? Somebody's going to snore and somebody's going to have stinky feet in a hotel room
They're both
built for
you.
two that has like 12 people spending the night.
But they're both you every time, the snoring and the feet.
I am working on my feet problem. There's a product called Lamisil. I suggest that you check it
There's
out.
a fucking strip you can put on your nose.
So yeah, we make it out. I go to Colorado. Everything's awesome, and I'm getting drunk, which I did last year because they kept feeding me alcohol. Her parents. Oh, and to answer your earlier question, I don't remember if this was actually when we were recording, but her parents are not religious in any way.
Oh, nice.
Which I love about them. Yeah, it really is relieving because they are a really well.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It'd be relieving not to have to worry about it.
You can, her kids are swearing in front of them. They know that we all smoke pot and make reference to it. I mean, we're not smoking out right in front of them, but so it's a good time, and they're a really well put together family, and I've met families like that before, but they always have religion in the background.
Right.
And so that's why this was an incredible change of pace. And so that's why I have so much fun. And then, so I stayed through Friday, and the plan was that I was going to fly in, hope that my plane came in on time, and then immediately catch a cab to catch a Greyhound here so that we could record last night, which I just gave away. Obviously didn't happen. But, so I'm getting to the airport. My flight flies out at 7, but I get there at 5. No, this is irrelevant. My flight flies out at 5. I get there at 3. And then I go in to check in, get my boarding pass, and they said, oh, there's a slight delay on your flight. Instead of boarding at 4:30, we're going to board you at 5 and depart at 5:30. I'm thinking, not that big of a deal.
Half hour.
Yeah,
No
I can
big
still
whoop.
make it. And then so we get on, they board us right on at 5 o'clock like they said, and I'm in first class, so it's great. I'm positioning myself, got my pillow propped, and then 5:30 rolls around, getting ready to go. Seatbelts locked and in position, and then
I hate flying. I'm so scared of it.
I know you are. I don't get it. I've flown more in the last 2 years, man, and it
Especially
is
when
not
there's-
that big of a deal.
When there's snow. Ugh.
The snow. See, none of that even occurs to me. I guess I had good reason to be scared because I'm sitting here, and then 5:30 comes to 6. 6 turns to 6:15, and they haven't even told us what's going on yet. And we'd pulled away from the gate at this point, so we're on the tarmac.
Oh, pulling away from the gate. I fucking hate that part.
Whatever, dude.
I really do.
You need to sit in first class and get
It
drunk
is
for
so
free. That'll take
scary
that right
and
away.
shaky. I've never flown since I've been able to drink.
And it was especially weird sitting in first class. You know how sometimes you have the opportunity or the chance to sit next to a celebrity.
Oh yeah.
John Lithgow, and he was screaming about some alien on the side of the plane.
That happened to Dad once when he was flying, right? Except it was William Shatner way back then.
Yeah.
But it was more about like a guy in an ape suit.
Yeah. And Dad only remembers that
That was
memory
a
in black and
lame
white.
fucking joke.
It was a bad derail there. Oh yeah, so by 6:30, an hour after we should have left, and they're not even offering me a drink. I'm like, well, if we're not flying out, that's the only reason. And then they tell us there's a mechanical problem. Please sit tight. We'll have more information for you in a few minutes. This is from Ted at the ground crew. I appreciate his constant updates that meant nothing to anybody.
Oh man, sounds like you were part of the mob.
No. I was not.
Was there a leader of the mob?
Oh, yes, there was.
Okay.
I'll jump right to that. So nobody knows what's happening, and the flight attendants, who are 90% really hot. Like not even just moderately cute, like something to fixate on.
Sound more manly, right?
But yeah, they were really
Fuckable, 1 to 10. Fuckable, all of them.
not all of them, most of them.
Not the stewards, right?
No, and there was one, and I giggled every time he walked by. And so people are starting to get antsy. The guy in the seat next to me is a total dickhead. He's like this 50 middle. What am I looking to say?
Middle Eastern gentleman.
No, no. I had to shit my pants at that point. I wouldn't even have been on the plane
Yeah, an
anymore.
airplane. They're always on the fucking airplane. That's the other thing I hate.
Yeah. So in my spare time, while I was waiting for the plane to fly, I was playing "Who's the Terrorist" in my own head. That's a Michael Ian Black joke that I stole.
Do you look at like an Arab guy that sits down, he's getting on the same plane, and you just go, "Oh fuck"?
No,
No, never. And then you feel a little guilty.
no.
I don't either. Not even when they get on.
You
the
know,
bus with
you know why I never blame the guy with the turban, because they're the first to pick me up in a cab whenever I need. I've been taking more cabs recently, and they know their areas as well.
Yeah.
They're good for that.
All right.
It's like the Asians in the math. It's like the Asians in the hotness. Don't you want to bang an Asian sometimes?
I don't see that thrill.
Oh, a tiny little
Irrelevant,
awesome Asian.
but no, tiny Asian little boy looking. No.
Nobody brought little boy into it.
So who's sitting next to you? A little boy, a little
John Lithgow.
Korean boy you want to fuck.
No, so this guy, he's sitting there, and you could tell he was pissed. Like, he's just muttering under his breath, which I kind of am, too, because I want to catch that bus to come here. And I'm starting to feel, well, obviously, at this point, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But then the ground...
What's the stewardess going to do? Come on. Don't yell at your waiters. Don't yell at your stewardesses.
Yeah, so they're passing around water. They don't want to give us alcohol because they don't know if we're going to have to exit the plane at any point soon. So as she's coming around to my row, asking if I want water, which I did not take, even though I was at sea level. Then the guy next to me, no, I don't want a water, but I would like to know what's going on. Has anybody even talked to the pilot? We haven't had an update in at least 10 minutes. I have somewhere I have to be, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, don't take it out on her. She's really hot. But that wasn't the worst of it. Like, she's like, oh, yeah. And then, like, she went up there because you have to do it, I guess. Especially she's talking to a first-class customer.
That's true.
Passenger. And then, so she goes up to the cockpit. The guy comes on and gives some bullshit. Hang on with us, folks. What he said was, he says... We're hoping that you won't have to exit the plane, but if you do, don't worry, there's always plan B. But he never at any point told us what plan B was. I instantly thought morning after pill and wondered how it fit into the equation. But it wasn't that. And so, yeah, eventually they said, well, here's plan B. Everybody get off the plane because this isn't going to be able to be fixed at any point tonight. And they never told us what the mechanical problem was. It could have been just a clock that didn't work or something stupid like that. That's what I honestly think.
But what does it matter? They're not going to... That guy sitting next to you isn't going to be able to change their mind.
No. If anybody could, he could. He had a certain suaveness about him as he chewed out our... Whatever. And I'm getting really mad just thinking about it because I'd already been frustrated that I spent that 2 days in limbo not knowing if I was going to make it there at all. Then I get dropped off at the airport and find out that another plane is coming from Seattle and will immediately reroute back. But it's not going to be until 10:20. So it was 7:30 at this point. I've got 3 hours now to kill at the airport. And so that sucked, but the consolation prize was because you've been so patient and understanding, you can pick up a meal voucher on us, eat somewhere in the airport for free while you're waiting. Well, by the time even I, the second person out of the plane, because I was first class, it seems like everybody had pushed their way in front of me to get these fucking meal vouchers.
Yeah, they're aggressive.
Yeah, so I didn't want to wait it out, and so I just went, and I really wanted to smoke a cigarette. Like, I was fucking sitting in that plane for 2 hours, and I was just stressed out that knowing that I had blown my bus that I'd already paid for. And then so I find a bar, not only a bar, but a bar with a smoking lounge, which I thought was impossible once you got past security.
Yeah.
And so I sat
like a dream come true.
I sat there and I drank for 4 hours, or not 4 hours. I drank 4 beers in like 2 hours as I texted you. the entire time bitching about the experience. And then so I got back into town last night at 2 in the morning, got up at 7 to make sure that I could switch my bus and catch the 9 o'clock for here today. And they said, yeah, no problem. And so I finally thought I'd
Bought
done
the
something
refundable
right.
ticket.
Yep, refundable ticket. And so I got a ticket for the 9 a.m. bus. Was going to be here at 12. And then 9:30.
I got the text at 8:30 this morning. Be there at 12:15.
Yep. And we haven't recorded in a long time, so I was anxious. And then I'm sitting there, 9:30 rolls around, and it's last night all over again, except for this time it's a Greyhound. So there's no chance of booze once I get inside eventually.
It's like you lived out the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes, it is.
If there was only one guy that you had with you to go from stage to stage.
Yes, I wish it had been you, my friend.
And then you can make like a show like that where you just ruin someone's travel plans, and then at the end the pilot makes the announcement, and then he rips off the wig and the headset, and it's Howie Mandel. And he says, Nick, this is how we do it.
Yeah, I wish people could see the point.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel, for those that don't know, apparently thinks he's Ashton Kutcher now. I don't really understand that at all.
He's got a hip spin. In a way, he's almost hipper than Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, not at all. He kind of seems like a sleazebag, yeah? Does he have a wife? Because if so, he's cheating on her.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has a wife.
Okay. That makes sense then.
He's got that germ problem, though.
Wait, let me get back to my miserable bus experience. So the pass was closed for avalanche control, and this had all happened after I bought my ticket. Meanwhile, I'm only like a 15-minute walk from home where I could go back to sleep, but I'm just going to wait it out because they said, we don't have any information yet. And it was the same bullshit. Like, they'd come on the PA system every 10 minutes and tell us no information. And you were actually checking it out online for me. The only information I got was from you. So that was like 2.5 hours late, and now I'm here. And I'm fucking frazzled and pissed. And can you tell how tired I am?
I appreciate you coming, buddy. I know that it's in reality my turn to go over there.
I know.
And,
so you owe me 2 now.
I don't know how you could have possibly gotten done with all that airplane drama, been 15 minutes away from your house, and not just said fuck it and went home.
Yeah, not only that, but I thought my iPod
that.
was dead. Like, I was doing nothing. I went and bought a newspaper and ate an Egg McMuffin and hated life for like 3 hours. Ugh. But I'm here now and everything's fine. And I do appreciate the Christmas present. It was way better than mine to you.
Yeah, it's a little bubbler to take it easy on your lungs. I've been using the bong lately.
Yeah, I've been using the bong a lot lately too. And you were giving me hints as to what my present was before I got here, one of which was a clever use of a pun. I don't remember exactly, but it ended with your gift
Wait.
Sorry, I don't.
I said,
do yourself justice here.
I've got your gift here. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's smoking.
So obviously it's drug paraphernalia of some kind.
Yeah, or drugs, which I just can't spare.
Yeah, and that's kind of boring anyway. That's like getting a gift card.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, that's very true.
Yeah. So, then I get here and it's a bubbler. And I was wondering what... But when I knew it was probably a piece, I was like, well, he knows I have one pipe that I enjoy a lot, one bong, which you also bought me as my first birthday present, and a one-hitter for the outdoor occasions, the incognito outdoor occasions. And now I have a bubbler, too, which for those that don't know, it's like a little bong.
Yeah, it's like a pipe with a little bong bowl.
It's delicious. We'll post a picture.
Yeah. I got a weed encyclopedia for Christmas. Maybe we should look it up and not look like assholes.
Yeah, see, I think you made out... I can't say for sure because I'm still owed a couple of gifts, but you seem to have made out way better than me this Christmas.
Yeah, I got 2 pair of pants that I
don't know why you started with that. People have checked out.
I'm going in order that I opened them, I think.
Oh, okay.
That was the first one.
That's exciting.
I do love both pair, and my wife said that she just went in the store and just decided to pick out what she thought were the 2 ugliest pair in the store.
Is the ones you're wearing now, or is that one of the ugly pair?
Yeah.
I love them, dude.
Yeah, they're awesome.
What kind of fabric is that?
They're kind of, I don't know.
It feels very woolish to me, like thick and
they're
awesome.
kind of really dark, but plaid, kind of golfer pants like. They're pretty awesome. I got some brown khakis or cord like. I don't know anything about fashion. They're pretty awesome, though.
Speaking of fashion, what'd you get from your bigger brother over there?
I got a Midnight Society T-shirt, Midnight Society member, 1990 through 2000.
Let me explain that it was an impulsive buy. I was looking for something for your daughter online, and the doll I bought her, by the way, she does not seem to appreciate it
No,
at
she
all.
does. She loves Caillou. I'm Caillou. She loves the TV show. She hasn't warmed up to the doll yet.
Caillou is a TV show on what channel? Is that Sprout or Nick Jr. or some shit?
Not Noggin. Something like that. Sprout.
Anyway, I know that Caillou's naivety enrages you, and that's why I bought the doll. It was because I knew Sophia liked Caillou, but also because I knew you hated it.
Yeah.
But at least it doesn't sing or anything.
And the Midnight Society shirt, yeah, which every other fucking gift anybody bought her makes a lot of noise.
I couldn't stand it.
It's getting real. It's getting bad. We live in a small place.
I hope my kid's a mute, because then it won't even matter.
Like Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah.
But you love music, so you'd be sad. And
Do I love music?
You would never really love the kid. Oh, I was talking like if you're Mr. Holland.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Midnight Society T-shirt. The week before when you were here last, we were having a long conversation about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, and it got mentioned. What made me think of it was the episode that we had with Kelly recently. Are You Afraid of the Dark also got mentioned. And so that was still in my head too. And then I saw it online and I was like, that's hilarious. And then I bought it for you. And then I remember that you don't like black T-shirts and you bitched about it last time I was
here.
here.
I like it. It's
I
really
haven't seen it yet. I just had it since being here. You'll have to wear it tomorrow.
It's somewhere, you know.
Fuck
It might be dug down deep in the hamper, but we'll see if I can find it.
Well, if you already need to wash it, that's a compliment.
Yeah, that's true. For when you texted me and you said, "Did you get the shirt?" I was in a scramble because have you ever seen those velvet bags that bottles of Crown Royal come in?
Yeah.
I get those all the time from work, and I was gonna fill it with rice so that it looked like sand, and I wanted to take a picture of me like throwing it onto a fire, like make it look like I was throwing it on a fire.
That makes sense to three people. But how does that
I
come across in a picture, though? I'm not even sure I would get it.
I think you would have. Well, I was gonna write like submitted for your approval in the text, but my cell phone camera is so awful it wouldn't pick anything. I assembled all the ingredients and I was like, I'm really gonna put rice in this bag and then fucking dump it all over the living room. My wife was not like. She's like, oh, this is gonna be a good joke. So I just said, thanks, dude. It's sweet.
It was sweet. And I didn't get your wife anything.
Yeah, that's all right. Speaking of which, I gotta pay you for the Out of Towners DVD, which you bought her. Don't let me forget to
I guess I did buy it for her. Merry Christmas.
I also got a blue sport coat from my wife, which is lovely. I love it. I lost my brown one.
Oh, the brown one that I liked?
Yeah, I lost it, so I need a new one. And I got a book, like a pot culture, it's called.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I was taking a shit and learning how to build a pipe out of a aluminum can all at the same time.
Yeah, well, everyone knows how to do that.
I didn't I've done it before, but I'd forgotten the steps. And in that particular book, Steve-O walks us through it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think the lead singer of Maroon 5 teaches you how to make a gravity bong or something. Or maybe his is like, my top 5 songs to get stoned to.
Is he the one that's on Celebrity Rehab?
No. No. I don't know who you could be talking about, but those people are extremely washed up.
I know, but I think that would apply.
Hey, oh, never mind. I was going to do a terrible segue. Should I do it anyway?
Yes, please.
Do they have Celebrity Rehab on iTunes? You see, I got this iPod Touch now.
Oh, shit.
No, we're not going to use any of that.
No, we have to now.
No, like this. Like this. Ready? And I also got an iPod Touch.
Did you? I know you did. It's pretty slick. I've always been against the iPod Touch. My friend Margaret got one last year for Christmas, and I didn't like. I think touchscreen is tacky. I've thought that since the day I took my driver's license test.
You're gonna have to accept it, Nick. It's gonna be all there is.
No, it's not. That's so stupid. That's like saying that we're gonna eat steaks in pill form. And our house locks will be voice activated. I think that's already the case in some places.
In Time Cop.
You know what else is in Time Cop?
Mia Sarah's boobs.
I was gonna say Sloane, but yeah, let's go with the real name.
Yeah. And the scene where he gets in the car and says home, and the car drives him home, and his wife isn't dead anymore, and he's got a fat son.
I can't believe that you can speak of a scene from Time Cop.
I used to love that movie.
Really?
Although
I thinking of RoboCop?
No,
that was the good one.
That was pretty good, but Time Cop was good too. Anyway, yeah, so I got the iPod Touch. I didn't notice it, but it's a first generation.
What does that mean?
I don't know. There's a first generation and a second generation. And my wife said she didn't know the difference between the two, but the second generation, the cover of it was a picture of Jack Johnson, and she didn't think I liked Jack Johnson, so she bought me the first generation. Like I would be forced to listen to Jack Johnson constantly.
Yeah, that's a deal he struck with Apple.
Oh,
he has to be forced down every consumer's throat.
He's on every pair of earbuds.
Yeah, I do have the Curious George soundtrack if you'd like to burn it.
I don't even know any of his music. It was just funny.
But it is
but
pretty
I
slick.
love it. I don't know the difference between first and second generation. Don't tell me because I don't care.
So it's more than just an iPod, though. Like mine, I feel, even though mine's 80 gigs as opposed to your 16, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying it because it's true. But you've got, like, internet on that, and you can do all those wacky iPod applications.
Yeah.
That's
Which I'm getting sick of.
The applications already?
Well, I mean, there's stupid ones like fucking Checkers. Come on, it's boring. And then the iBeer where you pretend to be drinking a beer. What's the point?
That's the first application that somebody showed off to me. That's the first time I'd seen somebody with an iPhone. They're like, check this out. I'm like, we're at a bar and you have a real beer right next to you. Why do I have to watch you pretend like a fucking asshole?
The first one I saw, it was called like iZippo. And I didn't understand. I hadn't even seen the beer one yet. And it's just it's like a flame, and you can blow on it, and it'll move with your breath, and you can try to shake it out, but it's a Zippo, and it's tough, and it costs like fucking $5 to put it on your thing.
So the iPhone application,
like $1.
The iPhone applications are reaching out to mimes that need extra help. I don't understand. Like, it's all just, look at this funny thing that like none of it serves any purpose. Like the one I saw you playing with and that I played with briefly was the movie trivia.
Yeah.
And that at least has a point.
Yeah, that's fun. But then again, I didn't want to spend $200 on a fucking movie trivia game.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I have to start listening to music and buying Jack Johnson music. And
do you think that now that you have an iPod that you'll give music another whirl as a whole?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, it sounds like you're starting badly with what was it you said the first thing you bought was?
That Kid Rock song, but that was before I had the iPod.
If I could recommend something, it would be Sheryl Crow, but not their duet. I'm done with it.
Let's see what I have on it right now.
I can give you whatever music you want, guy. Not to
yeah, I totally should ask you to bring some CDs.
Not to cut you off in your rattling off of gifts, but I did get the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer soundtrack from a friend this year. So if you'd like that, it's all yours.
I would love to put that on there.
Silver and gold, silver. Have you seen that fucking movie?
No.
It is such a head trip, dude. I've never seen it. We didn't really think to watch Christmas movies as kids.
They look really. Is this the one where it's like it looks like claymation?
Yeah, it's claymation. It is the most insane fucking movie. I watched it for the first time. It came up on TV like 2 weeks ago, and I just know the song, so I know the basic steps, but they add so much more. Like the first thing that struck me as odd about this movie was that one of the elves that was hanging out with Rudolph had this strange obsession with dentistry, like wanting to become a dentist, and he kept mentioning it. And the entire time, as I'm continuing to get high, I'm thinking, how is this relevant? Is this some inside joke that everybody gets except for me?
Was this the version where Corbin Burnson was the voice of the elf?
Yeah, then Mark
Because
Ruffalo
that's
showed up, and it
fucking
was Mark Ruffalo's brother, R.I.P.
Did he die?
Yeah, he got shot
Oh.
execution style.
I know, but he was still alive for a while.
Oh, maybe he is still alive. I
Oh.
just hear execution style and assume the worst.
We're thinking about him.
Um,
He was a hairdresser.
let me get back to Rudolph here, PJ.
Okay.
So this guy is like, dentist, I want to be a dentist. And probably sing a song about being a dentist. I don't know. It was just a lot weirder than
Check
I
the
ever
soundtrack.
expected it to be. And then there was this minor, or this, I'm going to be corrected on this because people apparently have seen this movie. But there's this guy named Yukon Cornelius, and he's like a big bear, like a gay guy, kind of. And he's got this huge schnoz, and he just sings silly songs about mining. Or no, yeah, gold mining. And then the abominable snowman comes out, and he's attacking and wants to kill everybody. I'm jumping around in the story. Also, there's Rudolph. He has a nose of some kind.
It sounds like I do not want to watch this movie.
Well, let me spoil the end
Not
for
when
you
I'm
then.
high.
If you're high, dude, it's incredible. The abominable snowman's
It's
running
fucking-
around, and he's got his big fucking fangs. But then, who saves the day? The elf that's obsessed with dentistry. He pulls out all the abominable snowman's teeth, and then he can no longer harm the little town.
It sounds like Alan Parker directed this movie.
I don't understand that reference.
He directed Pink Floyd The Wall.
Good pull.
Thank you.
What else did he direct?
IMDb. I could be wrong, but I think Chariots of Fire, and I know The Life of David Gale.
What a fucking piece of shit that movie was. We saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was awful.
It was so manipulating.
I got my playlist here.
All right.
While I'm pulling it up, I just wanted to bring up one thing real fast. What do you think of the extreme over-marketing that the movie A Christmas Story has seen in the last couple of years?
What do you mean?
There
The
are
leg
fucking
lamps that
leg lamps. I see them in windows in Yakima now.
Is that right? Like full
There's-
size?
Yeah.
Like in the movie?
You go to Borders, there's like a whole fucking thing where it's like leg lamp, Christmas lights, the statue. They have an action figure that I almost bought you as your present, which is Flick, and he's got his tongue stuck to a pole.
Oh, jeez. What am I going to do with an action figure
I know,
anymore?
right?
I appreciate the thought, but and I can't say I'm not 16 anymore because I did have action figures like up through 24 years old.
But in the end, I really just didn't want to support like this. They have games everywhere. It's just
It's
it's overboard. I think it's because the director died. He must.
You know who started it is TBS.
Yeah. Well, I still appreciate them for that. I could have sworn that was TNT though. Was that ever TNT instead of TBS?
I always get them mixed up. I don't know the difference.
I do know the difference, and I thought it was TNT.
Going back to really quick about A Christmas Story, Margaret. Oh no, Margaret has seen it. Margaret's brother, who's really cool and a supposed listener now. I told him about the show.
Hey, buddy.
He's never seen A Christmas Story, and he's like your age, and didn't even like know the basic plot. I was like Red Ryder BB gun, and then that
You think
didn't
he
do
would
it.
enjoy it as much now? I
It's-
still love the movie.
It's an enjoyable movie, but it's
I love the movie.
It's not in the same way like Goonies or Monster Squad where you put it on and you know that it's bad, but it means something to you anyway.
I'd rather watch Christmas Story over those movies.
Yeah, me too. Christmas
Oh.
Story is a quality movie. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying in comparison to something like that. Like they all have nostalgic value for me, but only that movie, Christmas Story, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I still think are quality movies. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's a good movie that I
I'm
just
gonna have
watched
to watch
again.
that one again, especially when you were telling me about the documentary. Okay, here's my playlist. All Summer Long, album A Salute to Kid Rock from the Rock Heroes, so it is a cover band. Kill You from the Marshall Mathers LP.
Wait. Before you go on, this is your entire music history, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're going to read everything that you own.
Yeah, this is
music-wise.
everything on my iPod.
Okay.
Yeah. The Way I Am, also from Marshall Mathers LP.
I was obsessed with that album when it came out.
Yeah, me too. I should have bought the whole album.
When my first car had
By the way, I accept iTunes gift cards from this point forward. I have to start liking music, and I know nothing about music, which I think you'll hear.
I'll help you out as best I can. When I had my first car, I had a cassette player in the car, but the only cassette that I ever bothered to get was the Marshall Mathers LP, and so I listened
I
to
used
it
to
all
have
the
that
time.
cassette too.
Yeah, I probably stole it from you.
Yeah, maybe that's how you got it. Maybe that's how mine went missing. Weird.
Really, you want the cassette back now?
Next one is Summer Girls from LFO. I like girls that wear Abercrombie.
Spit take.
Gray in L.A. from Loudon Wainwright III.
Is that that's my daughter, him?
No, that one's called Daughter. This is a different
No,
one.
Daughter's Pearl Jam, PJ.
Oh, what the fuck
Check
is
your
this?
facts.
Cherry Cherry from Neil Diamond. That's supposed to be Sweet Caroline.
Cherry Cherry. I don't
Yeah.
even know that song.
She's got the way to move.
You know what song I would
forward.
argue is better than Sweet Caroline that Neil Diamond does?
What?
There's one. You know
Probably-
Cracklin' Rosie?
I like that.
Oh,
song.
man.
I'll get that on there.
Yeah, you should. And
Next
then give
week.
it to me.
April 29th, 1992.
This is so exciting that you have an iPod
I
now.
know.
We can bond on a whole new level.
Sublime, April 29th, 1992.
That's a good enough song.
My Generation from The Who.
Ooh, nice. Where are you getting the? Did you just pick these
I
off
like
the
The Who.
iTunes store?
No, but
Oh, okay.
I
What
watched,
a random assortment,
I
if that's
know.
the case.
I was all over the place.
Yeah, I always knew Cherry Cherry was your. That was your wedding song, right?
I love Sweet Caroline, of course, because of my obsession with the movie Beautiful Girls for the
Yes.
bulk of my life. But I did watch a documentary on The Who, and I love them. And I own Tommy, and I love that movie. My Name is Jonas from Weezer. Crimson and Clover. Man on the Moon from R.E.M.
Mm-hmm.
No Rain from Blind Melon.
Oh, jeez.
I know. Run Around from Blues Traveler. Incense and Peppermint.
Is that an iPod or a cliche machine?
I know, dude. I know. Incense and Peppermint.
I love that song, actually.
Mama Told Me, parentheses, not to come.
Oh, I like that one too.
And then I've got 3 songs from the Jimmy Pardo Scott Aukerman singing Christmas songs.
This should be a new tradition, watching Shawshank Redemption in the background.
It's
It makes me feel inspired.
the weird thing we were watching before was kind of a downer.
Yeah. You want to talk about that?
The documentary Stevie.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Stevie is a fucked up little man.
Yeah.
You got to finish it. There's only like a half an hour to go. It's a pretty long movie,
Yeah.
but man, is it engrossing.
We don't even have to get too into it, but he is one fucking hick. Like, just reminds me of so many people I know, and just an awful person. And it was kind of a bummer to watch. I was like, how is this supposed to get me in a talking mood?
Yeah, it was a dumb thing to sit in
just
front of
like-
for an hour and a half. Right
I'm
before
just
we
like
start.
watching him, being like, am I like him? Am I like him? Like, trying to compare every aspect of me to him.
I think you would know. If you were like him, you would recognize it by being in and out of prison and rehab and child molestation classes all the time. Whatever you call that.
I don't know if it's an asshole thing to do, but I used to do it too. Like, if I was ever in debt or really short on money or something like that, like, just think of someone in a worse off position than me.
Yeah?
Be like, oh, this guy owes way more money than me. Like, if I ever hate my life, I can think about that guy Stevie from the Stevie documentary.
Oh, so it doesn't even have to be somebody you've met in real life.
No, not necessarily.
Right. Then you're always better off than somebody.
Yeah.
What's your lowest point as far as money? And before you answer, let me give you an example and see if you can top it. I was at a point where I had just moved back after I had lost my job at the grocery store to Tacoma, and I was so broke and couldn't get a job and addicted to cigarettes. And so I literally did not have the $3.50 that it cost at the time to buy a pack of Pall Malls. Like, I would have smoked anything. Carnivals,
Yeah.
carousels, whatever they're called.
Ashtray diving.
Yeah, big time. Like, I would just walk around the streets and look for half-smoked butts, man. It was terrible. And then in addition to that, like, I was hard up for money, so I would donate plasma.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
I tried to once. They told me, they said your glands are swollen, which it could be something just like the cold, but it is also a symptom of AIDS. So we can't accept your plasma.
What a bummer of a day.
And I did not feel like I had a cold either. But I'm still feeling good. I think my T cells are up, so that's good.
Yeah, all right.
Best I felt all year, so why feel fear? I'm a New Yorker. Fears my life.
Is this Rent?
Yeah.
All right, we'll cut that out then.
Lots of AIDS stuff in there.
Yeah, donating plasma is a crazy thing, and I was doing it because I didn't have a job. I couldn't get a job. I wanted to smoke. I wanted to eat something other than what I had immediate access to. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted to have cash in hand, and so I sought out this plasma donation place, and like. I am not one for needles or blood, so like this is a last resort for me.
Plus, it takes forever to get in there.
Oh God, it does. And so I eventually passed. Like they pricked my finger with a needle,
Yeah.
and I checked out, and I was okay. So then you get into the little waiting area, and they encourage you to like eat crackers and drink juice. Somehow that helps.
Score
And
some
so-
free food.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fill my pockets with Capri Suns, and then you sit in this machine, and they hook it to your arm, and it's the most uncomfortable experience ever.
I didn't get that far. They
I
rejected
couldn't
me.
look. Like I've never fainted or passed out, but that's the closest I've ever come is the 3 or 4 times that I donated plasma because I knew what was happening the whole time. And they have these TVs up on the ceiling to distract you, and they have. I remember once I went. This will tell you how not that long ago it was. The movies playing at the time that were already out on DVD were Sleepy Hollow and Mean Girls. Is what I remember watching.
Yeah, I can't remember what movie was playing when I went there. I remember all the other people there though. Like, I like to
Some people are regulars there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All these
Like
people.
they're
are-
buddy with the nurses and stuff.
If ever I'm doing something like that, I like to show up very early, doctor's appointments, trying to donate plasma. And I was there before they open, and I was like, this way, if it takes forever, I'll be the first one in there. There's a fucking line. And then as I'm sitting there in line, just all these people just getting off the bus, like right there. They all know each other. They're all talking to each other. And it's their thing. And then they rejected me.
Some people do it for the good of humanity, I think. Like they look to like they're not there for their $25. They're
Yeah.
there because they're doing a service.
My wife used to work at a bank in Tacoma, and
A blood bank?
no, sorry, Key Bank, and I think it was one of her customers or maybe someone she worked with. I also worked in the Tacoma Mall doing the survey things,
Oh yeah.
and she would tip my wife off to like good surveys.
I remember that when you guys would
if you
you'd
go
get
in,
a phone call and be like,
Yeah.
I'll be there in 20.
you go in there for this one, and it's $30. So I remember I tried to do one once, and sitting there in the waiting room, it was a cast of characters, and they were regulars, like, and they were there, and they're all talking to each other. They all know each other.
Like it's their job.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I gotta get my mom's medicine. How much is this one paying? $8. $8. Oh, you know what they're doing at the super mall today? Oh, I think you're eating some tuna fish over there. It pays $14. All right,
Jeez.
I'm gonna get on the bus to super
Although
mall. And they do
$14, yeah,
this.
I'd take a bus. $14
Yeah,
for tuna
if
fish.
you're down enough. As far as my lowest time, I remember, and this is also when I first started dating my wife, and I'd have to borrow money from my roommate to pay for things.
Oh man, that's the
sometimes.
worst. Like when you have a girlfriend
Yeah.
and you're constantly broke. I've been there too.
But even before we started dating, I remember one time like collecting a bunch of dimes. I think I had asked my roommate, like, can I have your dimes? I'll do something for you. And I took like $5 worth of dimes to the Burger Ranch, and I was so happy to like get some food I hadn't eaten in a while.
Yeah.
That was probably my lowest time. I was thin back then.
Wow. Yeah, I feel okay now, but I also have friends that would bail me out. Not that I ever expected to come to that, because if it comes down to me being homeless or me living with a friend or me living with mom,
Yeah.
I'm going to live with a friend.
But you're right. We can never be homeless. We have too much family.
We have too much charisma as well.
That's true. We will keep you entertained for room and board.
That's right.
Aunt Lori would take us in.
Yes, she would.
You know she would.
Oh, and if she's listening, thanks, Aunt Lori. That was one good Christmas present I got was a Borders gift certificate.
Borders gift certificate.
What should I use it on? It won't be a book.
We used some of ours today. I wanted to use it on Bottle Rocket.
Oh
Criterion.
yeah, the Criterion edition. That was like $45 there.
But I made some kind of deal with my wife to where she got the whole thing. So I don't know what she used
What kind
it on.
of deal is that?
I got to spend some money on something else.
All right.
But I think I got screwed. But
Plus, you got an
whatever.
iPod Touch.
Yeah, that's true.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your wife had a tone when she was telling me the presents that you had gotten for her this year.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want a Domino's gift certificate? Or was it Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, that's
And
what she likes.
that was like her favorite gift. Someone at work thought it was really weird. When I buy my wife gifts, she gives me a big list, and I always try to remember the year before when she opened
Does she
my.
check it twice?
Yes.
I waited for an opening. I thought it was worth it.
The year before, like when she would be mad, not mad, but like the unique gifts I would buy, just sorely disappointed. And why didn't you stick to a list? I don't think it's cliche or anything. I don't mind buying her exactly what she wants me to buy her because she is so disgusted when I stray outside of it.
Yeah, she had mentioned something about a couple of wallets that you bought that were really, really ugly. And I thought it was funny that she was so candid in talking about it to me in front of you.
Yeah, someone at work.
But you were probably with her when she exchanged them for something she didn't want, huh?
Yeah. Someone at work was like, she was going, "Oh, your wife told you she didn't like them?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, my God." And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to know anyway when she returns them." And she's like, "Still, you shouldn't say that." And then, meanwhile, she told me she had bought her boyfriend, like, a gift card for a CD and, like, a button-up Wrangler shirt and some minutes for his track phone.
Merry Christmas to that guy.
I got an iPod Touch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got a sport coat and some pants. I got everything I wanted, so my wife can be pissed. I don't give a fuck. Return them.
I think it's funny that you tried it all. Like, you looked at not just one wallet, but two wallets, and you're like, this screams my wife to me.
Yeah, and it looks exactly like one she would like.
I'm the same way. I would be able to tell the difference.
I can't understand. In fact, I think that if she thought about it, she does like it. It's just that I bought something she didn't want me to buy. And then
this wasn't on the list.
I bought her this little handheld $1 Million Password game because she likes the TV show.
She was shitting on that too.
Oh my God, it's the cheapest piece of shit. I got an iPod Touch, and for 99 cents, there's a $1 Million Password application on there.
That's probably way better and has awesome graphics.
Times better, yeah. You get a big cartoon character of Regis Philbin's face.
Did you get her? I thought you were gonna get her one of those picture frames, the digital picture frames.
I did, and I returned it because I knew she would hate it, and I ran it by her.
I thought she asked for that. That wasn't on the list.
No, I ran it by her, and she said she would have indeed hated it. But I bought her some Baskin Robbins Bucks gift certificates.
Those, man, to be married to you. Whew.
But then I got her How I Met Your Mother, and I
season 3. Is that what we were watching today?
Season 1 and 3. Bizarrely, she only owns season 2.
Oh, okay. Well, that was nice of you. I watched some of that with you today, and
yeah, we watched a lot of it.
Yeah, I think you said it best when you said that it's a terrible show with about 4 moments in each episode of hilarity.
I said if it's 24 minutes long, with commercials.
Yeah.
That 4 minutes of it is really funny, and the rest of it is just painfully awful.
Okay. Because I was going to say, even the best of comedies, I'd say with the exception of 30 Rock, most shows don't have more than 4 minutes of consistent laughter if you were to put it all together. Do you disagree?
No.
Are you just making fun of my pretend math?
No. I agree. I just didn't know it was like TV Corner.
Welcome to the Paul Goebel Show.
About demographics and shit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off track with my awesome.
I love 30 Rock too.
Speaking of 30 Rock, Tina Fey did Sarah Palin. Speaking of Sarah Palin, did you hear about her whoever the fuck her pregnant daughter, her boyfriend, whose mom got busted for like OxyContin dealing?
First of all, nice segue. Secondly, is this the boyfriend Levi? Is his name Levi?
His name is Levi and her name is Bristol, which means whatever their kid's name is, it has to be ridiculous.
Yeah. No, his mom's a drug dealer now.
Yeah, or she got found with massive quantities of OxyContin, I think it was. I learned that when I was bored as shit reading the newspaper at the airport today. Or at the bus station. Whatever, it's all the same fucking haze in my head. Do you ever actually? How often? You're not an alcoholic. I find myself more and more often actually having to remind myself at parties where hard alcohol, because mainly I stick to beer, but hard alcohol will creep in on occasion, and I do find myself doing the chant in my head as I'm sitting there taking a piss in the bathroom. Beer before liquor makes you
No,
sicker, right?
first of all, I would say that some people would say I am an alcoholic, but I pretty much stay away from the hard liquor.
Yeah, me too. Because
I'll have a vodka and Sprite or straight shots of whiskey. That's it.
that's it.
Actually, I do.
You know what
enjoy
you like that I don't understand for the life of me? When I see you take a shot of Black Velvet Canadian
yeah.
whiskey, that is the foulest shit ever. Our stepdad, Vincent, I don't know if he still drinks that, but when I was living with him several years ago, he always had Black Velvet sitting on top of the fridge, and I was working at Suncoast and living with Mom, and I would come home from work like after a late night shift, and they'd be in bed, and then I would sneak shots of Vincent's Black Velvet, and I was like 19, 20, something like that, maybe a little older even, but I wasn't used to drinking alcohol. It was just something to do because I had no friends and was depressed all the time.
Yeah.
And so I would just get super hammered and watch TV. And then I could do that for about 3 weeks. I was doing that every night after I came home
That's
from
how
work.
Paul Goebel got a start, right?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. You could be the next king of TV.
Yeah. So I would sit there and I would analyze unsolved mysteries as I'm sitting there plastered out of my head. And that didn't last very long. I remember one time specifically I had made like 2 huge bologna sandwiches when I came home, and I was taking shot after shot of whiskey, just standing over the sink knowing that I was eventually going to throw up. And then I did, and that was the last time I ever drank Black Velvet. I can't do it anymore.
You are insane. Christmas Day, I went to go see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and I was late. I was stuck putting together a toy that we had bought for the baby, like a piano thing that she sits on.
Uh-huh.
And so I ended up leaving here like 2 minutes before the movie was supposed to start.
Which theater was it? How far of a drive?
Yakima Cinema, maybe a 5-minute drive.
So not too bad. You're going to miss some previews.
Yeah. But when I pulled in the parking lot, like the parking lot was just fucking jam-packed. And it was the first showing there was this one. So I knew it was all for that. I just didn't want to deal with it, so.
Turned around and went back home?
Turned around and came back home, yeah.
Let's imagine that we're watching The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I'm going to fall asleep right here.
Did you see my Twitter about
I did.
the idea to make infant costumes for next year? I guess the timing's not right.
We should make our hilarious Twitters just a segment where we read things that we wrote on a whim.
Where we just congratulate ourselves on our own tweets.
I love my tweets sometimes, and then what's especially interesting
This,
is
by
the
the
fact
way,
that
is twitter.com/plannedbrohood.
nice plug, my friend. Yeah, and our followers are building, and it's really exciting, and I'm just obsessed with it in a way I never even was with MySpace or any other bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I just like the concept because it's so simple and it's so stupid and it's so great. And I now have it set up to where I can text Twitters from my phone, and that has been the best thing ever. I'm at Sports Authority for buying sleds while I'm in Colorado, and I'm like, well, I'm at Sports Authority. Other people want to know too. Just real random stupid shit. And
People share a lot more random things than that.
yeah, I don't like the Twitter abusers, the ones that are telling me what they're having for breakfast. In fact, I can't stand it. Once we have more followers than we do now, we can start to be pickier about it. But right now, I'm happy with the
You're
little
already
group
talking
we got
about
going.
weeding people out or something?
Yeah,
You're insane.
only eventually. I think we got a couple of spams today. I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, maybe.
Twitter's already dealing with spam.
Yeah, that is kind of bizarre, but as long as you don't follow them, what can they do?
I don't know.
Maybe
Hack into my Facebook
maybe they got a
account.
virus. Maybe Johnny Lee Miller will come out and fucking hack the planet with
Yeah.
serial killer. Have you heard about this? A Philadelphia man was shot because his family talked during a movie.
No, please read on.
All right. A South Philadelphia man enraged because the father and son were talking during a Christmas Day showing of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button took care of the situation when he pulled a 380 caliber gun and shot the father.
Wait.
Did you see this guy? This guy is fucking
I gotta look.
nasty looking.
All right, so the guy was making noise during the movie.
Yeah. A kid was talking during a movie.
Father and son were talking during. This guy does not look like the type that would be going to see a 2 hour and 40-minute Brad Pitt movie.
I think he was going there to shoot someone.
Yeah, he's got the face for it. I can't not believe it, having seen him now.
Yeah. After exchanging words, the victim said the gunman allegedly got out of his seat to confront the family when the father got up to protect them. That's when the victim was shot once in the left arm, sending others in the theater running to safety.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing to see. And
I wonder how far into the movie and what they were talking about.
Yeah, what could you be doing? Were they talking about the movie, or were they... I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know.
I haven't either. I can only imagine that they're either like talking amongst themselves, this is shitty, should we go, should we not go?
The son was saying, can I dress up for Halloween next year as Benjamin Button?
Let that joke
I'm
die.
make so much money off this joke. Millions of dollars as a joke. But I saw this link on Ain't It Cool News today. We all know I'm there every second of every day.
Yeah.
And Harry's like, Harry Knowles, he goes, I'm not advocating this, but maybe those of you who talk during movies want to read
Oh,
this.
God. Really? He went there?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Like
that's
that
tacky.
guy,
That's awful.
Like that guy ever has to sit in a public theater.
I know. I love this movie, and not only because I know the director. Whatever. Did you see Stephen King's top 10 movies of 2008 in Entertainment Weekly?
I saw it, but I don't remember what any of them were.
I'm
sure The Dark Knight was in there.
Yeah, Dark Knight I think was number 1. Like, it was the stuff you'd expect. It's the stuff you're seeing on every list right now, which is basically Dark Knight, WALL-E, and Slumdog Millionaire. But in addition to that, like, he put some shitty things on there. I remember The Ruins was on there.
Didn't he put Death Race on there?
Death Race was number 10, yeah.
Some like lady, some mother of 4 at work was really pushing Death Race to me. So I started telling her about the original. She had never heard of it.
I hear Joan Allen gets mowed down in a bad way in that movie.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh, whoops. We'll
I'm
call
never
the
gonna
episode
say
that, and then we'll be in the clear.
Okay.
And then when people listen, they're like, oh, there must be something good in here that I shouldn't hear. And then they'll be disappointed that we're talking about fucking Death Race.
We should start with talking about Lost a little and then say, oh, we'll get back to that.